What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a review of the Adidas Predator Accuracy.1 in the low variation. Now, you guys seen this already. I unboxed these and showed you the colorway. This is the Paul Pogba colorway. I have been wearing these cleats for the past 2 weeks and a half, and now I feel like I have a good amount of wear time in order for me to tell you guys how they feel and how they fit and what my thoughts are on these cleats. So since I already talked about the colorway in my previous video, I'm not going to talk about it right now. So we'll just get right into it. So we'll start with the upper like we always do, and the upper is a hybrid touch upper, which if you guys don't know, hybrid touch is a synthetic material that's kind of supposed to mimic the feel of leather. And this doesn't really feel like a leather upper at all, but it is pretty soft and plush. I feel like compared to previous hybrid touch models, it's not as soft from right out of the box, but I feel like once you do, start wearing them and break them in, they do get a lot softer. And now the upper itself does have a padded liner to it, so you will get a nice soft and dampened sensation on the ball. It doesn't feel overly thick, but you do feel that padding inside the boot when you're obviously juggling or striking the ball or whatever, and it is pretty noticeable. And also you do get this texture here that they've added on. If you guys could see that, these little black dots, it's supposed to be it's supposed to add more roughness to it, but honestly, you don't really feel the grittiness of this texture at all. At least I didn't feel it when, passing the ball with the outside of my foot or whatever. So I feel like this doesn't really make an impact on the ball. And then we have the main thing here, which is the Predator elements. And you guys can see it's these little black rubber pieces here. And it runs across the middle of the toe box right here into the striking passing part of your foot. And it's these black dots that are in a line right here, as you guys can see. So it doesn't really add any stiffness to the upper. It's still pretty soft in this area, which I think was a flaw in the previous Predator. I feel like that upper was just too stiff, and maybe it was the Predator elements or the Primeknit upper that made it super stiff. But this time around, it's really soft. It moves naturally with your foot. The rubber elements themselves do provide a lot of grip when striking and passing the ball. You do notice it when you're juggling. But it's something that you could get used to pretty quick. I feel like before, there was just so much of it that it just felt like you're going to trip over the ball. I feel like you get a good amount of grip in the areas that you need it, which is this part where you're going to be making the most contact with the ball. Now, in terms of break-in time, I feel like the upper itself did need a good amount of time to break in. I feel like the Hybrid Touch upper was not stiff, more so it was a bit firmer out of the box, and that could have been also to the liner. That was a bit, since it is thicker, it does take a while to soften up. So when I tried the boots on for the first time, the upper did feel a bit firmer. Well, once, I started juggling, running around, passing the ball. Once I did all that, it did start to soften up a lot. And now the upper is pretty soft. I have no problems with it. Super comfortable. I feel like it took maybe 30 minutes to an hour for it to feel soft and comfortable on my feet. Not that it wasn't comfortable, but it just did feel a bit firmer right out of the box. Now, in terms of the fit, I actually really like the fit of this boot. The fit overall is kind of on the wider side. It's not super wide that it feels so chunky and all that, but it's wide enough for, I feel to fit most people. I do have a slightly wider foot, and I was able to fit in these a bit comfortably. Again, the upper was a bit firmer, so once that softened up, my foot just felt a lot more comfortable. But the silhouette overall, it is a bit on the wider side. But yeah, if you guys have a bit of a wider foot and looking for cleats, I could strongly recommend Predator Accuracy. And then here in the heel, I did feel I was slipping a little in it, but I feel that's just because I didn't tighten my laces tight enough. Once I did do that the second time around I did wear these, it felt a lot better, a lot secure, and I was wearing grip socks, so that did improve the lockdown of my heel area. And now the sole play of this cleat is the same as the previous one, and it works pretty well. I like it. The stud pattern is pretty aggressive. It's these triangle studs, and you do get a good amount of bite, and I feel you do get a good amount of movement also, since they are a bit smaller. And the sole play itself, I feel it has a good amount of flexibility here in the forefoot, and it has a good amount of stiffness in the midfoot. And overall, I'm not mad at this sole play. It works well. And now the sizing of this boot is true to size. I wore my usual size, and I had no problems with it. My toe was right up in the corner, and I didn't have any issues of it being too long or too small. it was perfect. So I do recommend you guys going true to size. Now performance wise, this boot actually performs pretty good. I feel like you do get a good amount of lockdown, and there really isn't much rollover with this boot. I feel like the performance is really great. Again, the sole plate is great, and overall the package is good. And I feel obviously the highlight is the rubber elements, where I feel like you do generate more spin when striking the ball. Obviously no boot is going to make you better, and it's not going to improve your shot, but what I do think you get from this boot is that you're able to generate more spin easily. And so I feel like if you already have that technique down, it just adds to that like spinning effect. And so when I was playing with these, taking free kicks, I did see like the ball spin a bit more when I was trying to curl it, which was pretty cool. So, and you do feel it. And the good thing about these like little rubber elements, not that they're a bit smaller, is like I feel like they don't get in the way of the feel. I feel like before there was a little bit too much like rubber elements, and it kind of took away from the feel of the ball. But I feel like this one's like it has a good amount, and you can still like feel the ball. And I really do like the rubber elements this time around. Alright, and now we're gonna move on to some free kicks that I was taking when I was testing these boots. Overall, I'm super happy with the Predator Accuracy.1. I actually haven't been this excited about a Predator boot in a while. The last Predator boot that I tried was the Predator Mutator, and honestly I didn't really like that boot. It just didn't fit me properly, and the rubber elements were great, but again the fit was just not for me. I just didn't really fit into them, and they were kind of uncomfortable. Now I will say when I tried these boots, it did feel a little weird just because I was coming from testing these boots, the Mizuno Alpha. And as you guys know, this is like a completely different boot from this one. This is a lot thinner, a lot lighter. And these are, the upper is a bit thicker and a bit heavier. So it did feel a little weird to me. Once I got used to the feel again, I actually really like them. They're super comfortable on feet. The upper does get a lot softer. It is like a nice padded, like dampened sensation on the ball. You get the added grip from the rubber elements here and do allow you to get more spin on the ball if you have the technique for it. The sole plate is solid. I have no complaints there. I feel like this is the closest thing we got to like a Predator in terms of like a power boot. But this boot, 100% recommend if you guys like that old school Predator vibes, or just looking for something that's super comfortable, something that's a bit more padded, and something that, you know, provides a good amount of grip when striking or passing the ball. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully I did give you guys a good amount of information on this boot and how they fit and feel. If you guys did like this video, make sure to subscribe. During the making of this video, we did hit 400 subscribers, which is awesome. We're kind of gained like 200 subscribers in the past like week. So that's really cool that we are growing. Make sure to hit the bell so you're notified for future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.